Good afternoon and welcome to Lunchtime News, live here on News First with me, Mahina Bongzo. As usual, we start off with a look at the stories making headlines today. An eye disease spreads in several parts of the island. Ministry of Economic Development says its aim is to attract 2.5 million tourists to the country by 2016. And in news from overseas, Syrian activists at a rare legitimate gathering are calling for sweeping political changes. Beginning with news from here at home, the National Eye Hospital says that an eye disease by the name of conjunctivitis is spreading in certain parts of the island. Director of the hospital, Dr. Cicero Lienege, stated that this disease is spreading as a result of a virus that has been identified as the adenovirus. Dr. Cicero Lienege added that tearing, eyes turning red and swelling are the common symptoms of this disease.
It is caused by the adenovirus, usually spreading by touching. When that secretion of the infected people get in normal people's eye, contact with the normal people's eye, that disease will be spread. To prevent this, that you have to wash your hand with soap and other detergents, and you have to avoid to go to the public places like bus stand, bus station, railway, and schools and workplaces. This is a normal conjunctivitis. It is persist only around 3 days. Persist more than 3 days, you have to consult a doctor.
Deputy Minister of Economic Development Lakshmanyappa Abewardena says that it is the government's objective to make 1 out of 7 individuals in the country dependent on the tourism industry. He expressed this view while engaging in an inspection tour of the Pasikuda tourism zone yesterday.
The aim of the Ministry of Economic Development is to attract 2.5 million tourists to the country by 2016. As part of this initiative, steps have been taken to declare the Pasikuda beach and its surrounding areas a tourism zone. Pasikuda is home to unspoiled scenic beaches and it remained inaccessible for a long period owing to the war which prevailed in the area. The government has provided 156 acres of land for the Pasikuda tourism zone and 14 hotels are being constructed on a 100-acre land. Deputy Minister of Economic Development inspected these hotels yesterday. The government is taking measures to develop infrastructure facilities around the tourism zone, which will include a helipad. A special discussion was also held between the Deputy Minister and hotel owners. We believe that through the tourism industry, the country will generate a huge income. This income needs to be distributed amongst the people. It is our target to make 1 out of every 7 individuals in the country dependent on the tourism industry. We believe that we will surpass the target of 750,000 tourists this year. A decision has been taken to cancel the land allocation if construction work on these hotels do not commence in the next few months. 10 hotels are being constructed at present. According to the Deputy Minister, 5,000 direct job opportunities will be created through the hotels that are being constructed at present.
The petition filed by former Army Commander Sarath Fonseca against the First Court Marshal's decision to strip him of his titles after finding him guilty of maintaining relations with political parties while in military service was taken up before the Court of Appeal today. The case was called up before Justice Rohini Marasinghe. The petition cites the present Army Commander, the judges of the First Court Martial, the Judge Advocate and the Attorney General as respondents. It points out that the verdict of the First Court Martial is illegal, contrary to laws of natural justice and malicious. The petitioner seeks a certiorari writ nullifying the decision of the Court Martial. Counter-objections to the preliminary objections raised by the respondents were submitted on behalf of Sarath Fonseca today. Subsequently, the case was postponed until the 5th of July. The Sri Lanka Shipping Corporation states that it is currently in the process of finding a suitable vessel to be used for the ferry service between Sri Lanka and India. Chairman of the corporation, Prasad Galhena, stated that a Sri Lankan delegation has already left for Dubai for this purpose.
The ferry service between Sri Lanka and India commenced on the 14th when the first ferry arrived at the Colombo harbour from Tuticorin. The Indian vessel named Scotia Prince is to travel between Tuticorin and Colombo twice a week. Chairman of the Sri Lanka Shipping Corporation, Prasad Galhena, stated that Sri Lanka too will deploy its own vessel for this purpose. He added that as the seas between Sri Lanka and India are fairly rough, attention has been focused on selecting a vessel that is well suited for these conditions. He noted that they have decided to charge $50 per trip from a passenger.
Now, the police say stern action will be taken against those who walk along on the Kandy-Gattambe railway track. Senior DIG in charge of the area, Gamini Navaratna, said that this decision was taken as a number of people were killed in train accidents while doing so. 6 individuals had been killed in this area this year alone. He added that as a safety precaution, all footpaths that lead to the railway line will be closed off and a mobile police service will also be launched in the area. Meanwhile, Kandy SSP I.M. Karunaratne said that a program is being drafted in this regard. Now, Sri Lanka has been known as the Pearl of the Indian Ocean dating back to many centuries. This is because the island is surrounded by the mighty Indian Ocean. The Hummane blowhole in the Kudawala area in Tangol is a natural spectacle that adds mystic beauty to the southern coast of the country.
The significance of the Hummane blowhole in Kudawala, Tangol is that it is believed to be the largest blowhole in the island. The blowhole throws up a wonderful spectacle when it shoots water up to 60 feet into the air. This height differs based on wind and current conditions. The blowhole, referred to as Hummane in Sinhala, receives this name owing to the hum it emits when it throws out the stunning fountain. The Hummane blowhole sprays water from the rectangular hole between rocks once water pressure builds up. The Hummane blowhole is most active between May to September. According to our correspondent, a large number of local and foreign tourists witness this spectacle during its active period.
We came on a 3-day field trip. Today is the second day and we came to see the Hummane blowhole. It is important for us to see it as students. We have never seen anything like this before. You don't get to see these things like this from where we come from.
This experience is a once-in-a-lifetime experience for the students.
Breathtaking visuals indeed. Moving on to more local news, a General Secretary of the United National Party, parliamentarian Tissatha Nayaka, says that the program which is being carried out by the government to enroll foreign students to local universities is questionable. He expressed this view at a media briefing convened in Colombo today.
It is being stated that room will be granted for 1,000 foreign students when enrolling students to local universities next year. How will this opportunity be granted? It is after they make payments to universities. The government and the University Grants Commission have given the message that there is a legal basis for selling degrees in exchange for money. It is a wrong thing to do if they are trying to grant 5% of the room that is there for local university students to foreign students in exchange for money.
Well, Gayatri Gunaratnan now joins us from the News First International Desk with the very latest from the global arena.
Welcome to the News First International Desk. Making global headlines, Syrian activists at a rare legitimate gathering call for sweeping political changes, and UN representatives say that Mexico's drug war strategy is painful but working.
Syrian activists called for sweeping political changes that could end 41 years of Assad family rule in a rare meeting in Damascus, followed by the authorities under pressure from a 3-month popular uprising. The meeting at a Damascus hotel includes noted critics of President Bashar al-Assad, who are respected in opposition circles, as well as some supporters of Assad. Organizers said the gathering had approval from a senior aide to Assad, who has sent troops to crush protests across the country while promising dialogue in an effort to contain an uprising for political freedoms that has posed the gravest threat to his rule since he succeeded his father 11 years ago. Human rights groups say that security forces have killed over 1,300 civilians and imprisoned 12,000 since the uprising began in southern Syria. Mexican President Felipe Calderon yesterday said that Mexico has turned into a drug-consuming country as well as a drug-trafficking country. His comments came during an event to mark the International Day against the use of drugs and illicit drug trafficking. Meanwhile, Antonio Luigi Mazzitelia, a representative of the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, said that Mexico's drugs war strategy was painful but working. Drug-related violence has claimed some 40,000 lives in Mexico since Calderon launched his war on drug cartels in late 2006. The drug war has hit support for Calderon's ruling National Action Party, and polls suggest the center-right grouping will be ousted in a presidential election due in July 2012. Thousands of people have joined peace marches organized by poet Javier Cecilia, whose son was killed by gunmen in March, and who urged Calderon at the meeting to renounce his strategy. However, the president refused to apologize for taking on the heavily armed cartels with the armed forces.
Moving on to sports news now. The UK Met Office states that light showers can be expected in the area surrounding the Kennington Oval in London, where Sri Lanka is scheduled to take on England in the first one-day international today. The current temperature in London is between 13 and 23 degrees Celsius. Although it is reported that Sri Lankan skipper T.M. Dilshan, who sustained a hairline fracture on the thumb during the Test series against England, may be fit to take part in today's one-day match, his availability still remains doubtful. Meanwhile, if veteran batsman Sanath Jayasuriya plays in today's match, it will be his final outing before retiring from international cricket. The first one-day international will also be of significance to England, who will see Alistair Cook leading the side for the first time as the regular captain of the England one-day cricket team. The opening one-day encounter in the 5-match series is scheduled to commence at 5:30 p.m. Sri Lankan time. Sri Lanka will take on the Philippines at the Sugdadasa Stadium tomorrow in their first attempt to qualify for the 2014 FIFA World Cup. Sri Lanka will take on the Philippines in 2 legs. The first one will be played in Colombo tomorrow, followed by another match in Manila in the Philippines on the 3rd of July. The Sri Lankan team was seen engaged in practices yesterday. Rohan Aruwantilaka of the Saunders team will captain the Sri Lanka's side for tomorrow's game, and it will be the first game he will lead after being appointed captain. The 25-man Sri Lanka squad for the 2014 FIFA World Cup was announced recently, and they are coached by South Korean Jang Jun. If Sri Lanka secures a win in tomorrow's game and also secures a win or a draw in the second game, they will qualify for the next round. Captain of the Sri Lankan team, Rohan Aruwantilaka, stated that they are practicing very hard to win tomorrow's match.
We have been practicing for about a month. I think we're at a good level and we have a good team to play a good match. We hope to play well in tomorrow's game here at home. We hope to win tomorrow's game.
Moving on to some tennis news now. In the men's matches at Wimbledon played yesterday, Rafael Nadal, Novak Djokovic and Roger Federer progressed to the last 8. Let's take a look at the action from centre court.
Rafa Nadal overcame injury problems and a tricky big serving opponent to beat Juan Martin del Potro 7-6, 3-6, 7-6, 6-4 and reached the Wimbledon quarterfinals. The top seed and defending champion had to be at his resilient best to see off the 2009 US Open winner from Argentina, particularly after suffering a foot injury which caused a lengthy delay at the end of the first set. Novak Djokovic outclassed Michael Lauda 6-3, 6-3, 6-3 to reach the last 8. The Serbian second seed was in complete control on court 1, pummeling his 19th seeded French opponent with a blistering range of ground strokes and serves. Roger Federer dropped his first set of the tournament before his immense attention to detail helped him overcome Mikhail Yuzny 6-7, 6-3, 6-3, 6-3 to seal a place in the quarterfinals.
Well, if you want to keep yourself up to date with what's happening in the world around you, do log on to our website. That's www.newsfest.lk. We'll see you again at 1:55. Till then, have a great day.